Hey VC, welcome back. This is Seeking a Thread. I'm Dom. Here I'm going to do today a video sending out to psychedelic. Derek out in Nebraska, big psych channel, real explorer of music, psychedelic in nature, and dedicating this one to him. I know he just posted a video, but I knew previous to that he lost his mom, which is rough stuff. Sounds like it was kind of a surprise, not in great health, but still somewhat of a surprise, quite young. And this video is going to really be a video I wanted to do anyway, a response to his Ghost Riders theme, which I really like. I love this loner, sort of solo, kind of rootsy, kind of down and out, sort of rural, sort of psychedelic, sort of singer-songwriter. You know when you hear it. And I'm going to respond sort of, a lot of this is sort of in that nature, and some of it's kind of on the rural or country rock tip, but definitely artists that are sort of in a loner mode, a lot of early 70s stuff. Derek opened up about his mom, losing his mom, and sort of what happened around that, and I can relate. I lost my mom just about 3 years ago now. She had ALS, so we did know for a year or 2, 3 years that where that heads. ALS is a really difficult disease, Lou Gehrig's disease. You sort of lose a lot of your motor skills, usually concentrated on one part of your body. She lost her legs first, and slowly over time, it was about 3 years. I lost my dad in 2018, 7 years ago now, from a stroke and then a blood clot, and he went very unexpectedly. So I know what it's like to lose someone unexpectedly, and then I know what it's like to sort of lose, someone that you're just, you get time with. That's the good news about having that with my mom. We knew where that was heading, so we had to make sure we had plenty of time with her. Got to speak with her up until the very last day and see her on the very last day, so we got to acknowledge each other in a pretty heavy way. My dad, luckily I had a phone call with him that morning when he passed. Yeah, there's a lot that happened there with Dad. I did a whole radio show dedicated to my dad, and I still am going to be doing, hopefully soon, a show dedicated to my mom. But, Derek talked a little bit about spirituality in his video, and my parents were both very spiritual and grew up Catholic, big Catholic family, so that was how I was raised. But it's not, it was always a struggle for me growing up, and something I sort of reacted against. And these days, I don't consider myself Catholic, but I do consider myself spiritual, and that's part of why I love music so much, because I think it's a spiritual thing to sit and sort of be affected by music. And just being in nature is a big thing for me. I find that to be spiritual. So this one's out for Derek. Hope to see you soon, man. And Derek's why I started the VC. My first video was a reaction to his Mainstream Records video. So he's a few other people too, but Derek primarily is what made me start doing them. As psychedelic music is a big love of mine. And not just psychedelic rock, that's kind of been my theme. I find free jazz to be psychedelic. I find ambient music to be psychedelic. Psychedelic is the general nature that underlines most of the music I love. There's indie rock I find psychedelic. Sonic Youth is psychedelic. You know what I mean? So that's a commonality for me. And of course I do love psychedelic rock. So Ghost Riders. Great idea. Love the hazy, sort of like lost and lonely vibe. We're listening to Daniel Moore. The track we just heard, the first track, May 16th, 75, is the real track to pull from this. This is not too tough an album to find, but you don't see it that often. This is the inner sleeve. It's branded. It's on the Dunhill label. It's Dunhill, but it's a Dunhill inner sleeve, but it is the printed inner. Daniel Moore, I forgot to look up where he's from, if anything, but 72, I believe it is. Yeah, you don't see this too much, but it's about a $20 record. And it definitely will get into this sort of, country rock type vibe, but there's a few songs like that first one that really hit the loner vibe that I love so much. I'm going to go through these relatively quickly. I'm not trying to sort of make this a theme that I'm going to continue with. It's just my one response for Derek. I hope to see more of his videos doing this because I love it. And his is very much more focused on he's really researching each record. I haven't really done that exactly, but these all came to mind. And of course, this is not exactly the same thing, but she does the song Ghost Riders in the Sky, the Space Lady. She released tapes in the early 80s. She was a busker, as you can see, in San Francisco. And I love her versions of all. She does covers mainly, and then she does a few originals. She does Fly Like an Eagle, Major Tom, I Had Too Much to Dream Last Night, Electric Prunes, Ballroom Blitz. Synthesize Me, I believe, is her original, and it's excellent. I really love that song. But this is there's many repressings of this. It's on the Night School label, and she's released newer music, but I really, really recommend this Space Lady's Greatest Hits. It's a great way to go. There she is, doing Ghost Riders of the Sky. Another one I have here, just highlighting some things that overview this type of music. Derek may know about this one, but it's Sad About the Times. There's a volume 2 of this. I don't have that. But I've kept this, and I don't keep a lot of compilations or reissues, as you may know. But it really highlights, it gives you the best track of a lot of these records that are not all rare. Some are very rare, but you probably don't need the whole records, and that's why I love this one, because it gives you the track or two that's maybe the best from there. We have the West record, which is on Epic. Holland's Ferry, Randy and the Goats. That record's come up a bunch lately. Willow, Art Lone. That's a real rare one. Jode, I think, is on the Polydor label, I believe. Norma Tanega's on here, which is interesting. I love that Norma Tanega record. Perth County Conspiracy. I love that. I have that one. David Chalmers, Roger Rodier. Saw an original of that up in Canada this weekend. Very expensive. Space Opera, I love that one. I'm a fan of that. I know Derek, you are, I believe, as well. Jim Spencer Hoover, Richard Siegel, and the Smubs, Oliver Klaus, Antonio Lamb, Kevin Vilcalvi. I did an Ass and Archives on that one. Boz Metzdorf and Dennis Stoner. I do have the Dennis Stoner record, which I probably should include here, but anyway, maybe Derek's going to. But a nice double LP. I recommend getting this. I haven't heard the volume 2, but Sad About the Times is kind of the rural singer-songwriter, but definitely is hitting on some of these Ghost Rider vibes, so a great one to recommend there. I've talked about Ron Elliott and the Candlestick Maker quite a bit, or at least a few times. I know Mazzy has as well, but the song I love on here is All Time Green of that. This is on the Warner Southern Arts label. There's a record you can get on the cheaper side, but it's always about the condition on this one with that sleeve. It's on the green Warner Southern Arts. Excellent one, of course, from the Beau Brummels. This next one is maybe my recommendation of the video. Don't know if I've talked about this before. Robert Lester Folsom.
It's good to see you back again, closer in the shed. You don't know where you have been, 'cause you think that you were dead. You don't see no bed, you don't see no rocking chair, and you can't do a thing if you ain't there. And you can't do a thing if you ain't there.
RLF is in this household. Ode to a Rainy Day, Archive 72 to 75. There's also a volume 2 of this. I highly recommend getting this volume 1. I believe it's back in print. He made a private press record. What is it called? Stories and Dreams or something, with the blue cover. If I have time, I'll insert it here. That one's very rare, and I actually don't love it. I used to have a reissue of that, which was also on the Anthology label. But these demos are excellent. I don't know if any of those appear in full form on that private press, but there's so many great songs on this. Situations, Oblivion, Another Sunday Morning, Total Loner stuff. See You Later, I'm Gone. Awesome songwriter, great songwriter. And the fidelity and the tone of this, kind of that lo-fi sort of rainy day, is perfect for what we're talking about here. It's a really nice collection. I should get volume 2, but Ode to Rainy Day Archives Volume 1 on the Anthology label again. It does have an inner sleeve with notes. This is excellent, excellent stuff. And a truly great songwriter. I just think the private press record is... I probably need to reassess it, but I did sell that reissue. For me, it's all about this one. This one maybe doesn't quite fit, but it's got some really interesting psychedelic tinges to it. Goose Creek Symphony, the first album, established in 1970. This is a dirt cheap record, and it's got some really funky parts to it. I have like a reissue for which it did come on the green and red Capitol labels from '70 originally. This is like a later '70s press, but the originals are maybe a few dollars more. So this you can get from $5 to $10 all day. The song "Confusion," "Too Much Confusion," really stands out as a loner track. But you have, what's the other one I love? Maybe it's "No News is Good News." I don't know. They do a version of "Satisfied Mind," I believe is that song. But Charlie Gearhart is the sort of main singer-songwriter in this. I don't really care for the other Goose Creek records. You can find those also very cheap. But worth finding this if you're looking for some cheap, stoned out, sort of rural rock in this case. Another one, 2 records from Jerry Jeff Walker, which are a little hard to get, but if you come across them in the wild, there probably won't be much, but if you buy them online, they're probably not worth it. This one is 5 Years Gone, and he's looking kind of ghostly on this cover. And this is just a stoned out, mellow, very, very introspective record. He looks kind of ghostly here. This does have that original folded over insert on the Atco label. Of course, he did Mr. Bojangles, but don't overlook Jerry Jeff Walker. Seasons Change is a great one. Dead Men Got No Dreams on this. He's in a really insular mood here. A Letter Sung to Friends. Mr. Bojangles on this. I forgot that. It's like a different take. He must have had to just keep recording that song to keep the record company happy, but a really good, mellow, stony vibe here on Jerry Jeff Walker's 5 Years Gone on the Atco label. I believe this is the first. I don't think it came in the purple, orange Atco. And the other one, this one I see a little less, is Being Free. Stony, of course. Again, in a stoned out sort of loner vibe. And more of the same to this other 5 Years Gone record, also on Atco. Excellent stuff. This one, and he definitely gets into this country and singer-songwriter, but doing it from a lonesome, haunted place. I love this soundtrack. I've talked about it a bunch. This whole thing is loner goodness. Bruce Langhorne, The Hired Hand. This is the first pressing, but it's a numbered pressing on the scissor tail, but it is in print, I believe. It's been repressed a few times. You can see this entire film on YouTube right now. It stars, it's like 2 dudes sort of in the West looking for gold. It stars Peter Fonda. It's originally from 1969. This is just loner, sparse beauty. Super beautiful music. I've talked about it a few times. I just love this. You can, like I said, you can watch the full film on YouTube. I highly recommend you doing so. And the whole thing is just a lovely soundtrack. I guess it was commercially released, barely released, I think, the film. But just lovely, sparse, acoustic, lonesome, late night sort of western. Just lovely stuff. I've also talked about this. I think I did this in the Bummer vinyl tag. New Sounds by Bob Desper. This is not an original. It's probably way too expensive for what it is for me. This one's more of a folk record, but you can't get more ghost-ridden than that. Check out old Bob there. I don't know if he's still around, but I believe he is blind, is part of the thing. I think. I could be getting that wrong. But it is a little bit Christian, but it's coming from a sort of spiritual place in general, probably Christian, but it's not. It's sort of oblique. But we have songs like Darkness is Like a Shadow, It's Too Late, Lonely Man, To a Friend of Mine, Let It Shine for You, Don't You Cry for Me, Liberty, and Time is Almost Over. Yeah, I think that says it all. So this is a nice reissue on the Discouraged label out of Portland. The originals are really expensive, I think $500 and up, so it's really good, but not quite to that level where I would really want to search for that. So check out the reissue if you can. Mr. Ghostwriter himself, Bob Desper. And this one maybe doesn't quite fit, but there are a few songs that do. Dale Hawkins, I love this record. LA, Memphis, Tyler, Texas. It's super cool. It's super cool, you know. Just a... Yeah, it kind of fits into that country funk territory more than anything. But you do have some sort of loner stuff. Heaven on My Mind. And what's the other one? Little Rain Cloud, I guess. This one maybe doesn't quite fit, but I wanted to throw it in because it has similar vibes. You know, this is a mono copy on Bell, and one that you can still get for $20 to $30 if you're lucky. This is again like that Daniel Moore we just heard. You don't see this that often is the thing, but Dale Hawkins is known for his rockabilly in with Susie Q. Susie Q is his tune, which you know, the Eagles did, I believe. Love this record. If you don't know it in general, check it out. That's really it. I wanted to highlight those. Ghost Riders, a great theme. I'm looking forward to more of those, Derek, whenever you do. I'll link to Derek's videos on that. And just, yeah, props to Derek. Sorry for your loss, my friend. And we hope to see you soon back here. Yeah, that's about it. I will speak with you soon. Seeking a Thread.